Hello, hello. I am Dory Joe Stoll with Prairie Scraps, and I'm here on YouTube knocking down the place, I guess. Shoot. I was trying hard not to, but you know. So today I am just crafting along. I have a special order for a nativity set that I had placed, I guess, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago now at the craft show. I actually had two people order after the craft show order a nativity scene for themselves. I delivered one yesterday, and so that was exciting to get off. But this one I'm actually going to show you because I'm doing it a little bit different than I've done the last ones. The last ones I did, the nativity scene is they come in just white, plain white, but not plain. I mean, they have like wood grain on them. Let's see if we can get that. See there? So it's ready to go. Like you could just put the transfer. They have all the transfer pieces to go with it. You could put the transfer on and do any sort of paste over it. That's what I've been doing for the most part. But this is a special set that I'm doing. It was a special order actually for my kids teacher at the school. So I've been doing a little extra for her, and it's taking me a bit to get the right rhythm to it. So I sat up pretty late last night working on it and getting it done. So I'll show you what I've got so far. This is the camel, and she picked out 3 colors to do underneath. Espresso, cherry we have, and then storm, a gray color. And so I'm doing 2 colors on each one. And then the overlay, the transfer part, the stencil part, that is in Dune. So that's what I've done is a combination of those. And so far I have done a combination of each. So let me see if I can find the other one. So this one's espresso and cherry. And then so is this one. So one's on top, one's on bottom. You can see that. Kind of difference of that. She didn't want anything like bright or, gold or anything like that. She wants it to be kind of darker colors. So that's what we're working on. And then, and so I've been just like going with her. Then let's see. Then I had brown and gray, the storm, the espresso and storm. I thought I had another one. What in the world? Maybe I don't. I thought I had 2 of these. Did I miss one? Anyway, maybe I need to do an espresso and gray. I'm going to take a look at that. But isn't he cute, the little cow? I love that it says Shepherd up on his backside, and the glory of, some of the scriptures are on it. These definitely really, really shine, I think. So, and we're going to work on some. Okay. And then I have the 2 that are in storm and cherry, the Wiseman. Aren't they cute? I just love them. And you could see, look at that. This one has like some crosses in it. I didn't even notice that before. So I did mine all in white and gold. I've been doing the gold and silver, or the nominee, and the metallic ones, the silver and disco. That's the one that I've been doing in the past. So this is the first time I've ever done this. Hello, Victoria. Thank you for joining me, my friend. I know, aren't they adorable? Oh my gosh. So these are the 2 I did in cherry and storm. And then she wanted Mary. Oh, here it is. I found it. I'm like, one of the shepherds and the cow are both. So I did them opposite each other. So storm is, they're one's on bottom, one's on top. Let me see if I can get that little. Here's that little guy. Try to hold him still for you. There it is. Isn't that cute? The little shepherd. Okay, so we've got 2 of each, one on top, one on bottom. Then I figured the last set I need to do is, because I've got 3 left to do. Yeah, I think one. I've got 3 animals left to do. That's basically what I've got. Or animals and people. Mary and, let me see. I was hoping I could hear back from her because I asked her about the star. I've also got the star to do. And I asked her what she wanted done with the star. And then Mary and Jesus are just white background, which I think is appropriate with the dune on it. Let's see if we can get those up. Aren't those nice? They're so pretty. I feel like it's not even doing it, it's good. So those are, which I think is totally appropriate. Okay, so that's what I have finished. And then I have a shepherd, a wise man, and then a lamb left to do. So I guess the other, so I guess there's 4. So one is red and brown, brown and gray. So I think I'll do the lamb in gray and red is what I'll do. So this one's going to be gray and red. I need to remember this, gray and red. Sometimes I go really wrong with it sometimes because I overthink it. But anyway, this took quite a while last night. My back is totally out from sitting so long. I know, I love them. So then, and also I've still got the stable to do. And I'm a little intimidated because she wants a blue background for that. So, oh, maybe the star should be blue. I was going to ask her about that. Anyway, we'll see what she says. I won't do the star just yet because I don't know what she wants. One of the things I did learn about doing them is to make sure you know which side, which way the transfer goes, because the transfer only goes one way or the other. So the first thing we want to do, I'll put you down here so you can see my workspace. I know it looks kind of crazy. So we decided to go ahead and, because all the animals are in the other 2 colors, I'm going to do the red and gray on the lamb. Red and gray lamb. So I'm just going to set this aside. Oh my goodness, my little cloths or my little sponges. I cut up a board eraser to use for this project and used it to kind of dab on. And then I'm using, this actually worked out really good to have chalk that's kind of at the end, because then I don't feel bad about going, like messing around, getting colors in it. I definitely had a little bit of shared colors last night when I was doing it too. So the first thing we want to do is just go on and give it, I actually have been doing 2 coats of sponge on paint of chalk right on, oops, and I guess I really needed that on this. I'm going to try to get this one side. All right, so top, it doesn't really matter which is which. So I think I'll do the gray on top. I don't know. It just seems right for a little lammy. We did lambs for a while. We just had a discussion about lambs because my grandbaby is getting to be, I mean, her other grandma mentioned that she is very close to doing the fair, doing 4-H. And to her mom, and she's like, can you believe she's only 3 years away? I'm like, well, we don't have to start. And she said she was willing to do chickens but not lambs again. So lambs was not a good experience. So all I'm doing is I'm just sponging. You could use a makeup sponge, and I do try to keep it off the edges, although I found with my chalks, if they're a little more wet, they do go around the edges. So wipe it off right away, and then if you can't get it off, you can use a little bit of this is just because it's so runny. You can use a little bit of sandpaper to get it off even further. So this is really runny right here. So I don't know. This might take a little bit extra to get it off. And then the bottom half we're going to do in red. So let's see if we can get this one going. I don't know whose dog is having a fit. It's kind of annoying. It only happens when I go live. So anyway, I've been putzing along with this. I got another order done for t-shirts too. So if you haven't seen that yesterday, that was my one yesterday. I thought, I might as well just go live. So what I do is I do the 1 coat, and you can see like this. And actually, I try not to have like a really hard line between the paints. And so what ends up happening is I do a little bit, like lighter on the middle part, and then do a little bit of blending. And definitely this is where I start getting, things sort of, I just don't want it to be like a hard line going across. So this is the first one, and that cherry does look pink. So when it gets watered down, so it's looking a little pink right now. This is definitely not what we're going for at this point. And then we get it dry. I still haven't gotten my reel dryer in here. Quite a few of these I ended up going a little bit on the sandpaper just to get it off. Oops, how did I get red up by the mouth? That's not a good thing. Trying to get that off as best I can. The red definitely does more staining than the gray and the brown does. Although the brown is a little bit pretty close, pretty close. All right, so we got that. I'm going to try to get in here. And the goal is to just get it completely covered. My little sponges, they're falling apart. So I'm getting kind of, more texture than I really planned on. But I'm trying to get a good coverage here without the extra texture, I guess. I'm so close. I should go you could use makeup sponges. Those would work too. But, cutting this up, it didn't work too bad, actually. It worked out really good. I'm just kind of getting to the end of it here. And I had just a little bit to start with anyway. So you can see now the second coat of gray is looking a lot better, the storm. And then we'll put the red on here, and that will start getting a deeper color. And then I just kind of pat in between so it goes together. So do y'all put up nativity scenes? Yeah, the t-shirts were fun. The t-shirts were fun. They go so quickly. It's really not a bad thing to make. I always try to, and too, because they don't take very long. I tell you what, I am having thoughts about my price on if I had to do this again, the nativity. I actually have 2 more nativities I could make that I ordered in. Ooh, my hands are covered, and now I'm getting it all over I'm making the sides worse. I am a hot mess. I was talking to my upline. I'm like, how do you get it off the side? She's like, I wash it right away. And then I asked her about the stable. I'm like, now how did you paint the inside of the stable? I said, did you tape it off? And she goes, no. She actually did all the stables. She's done like 4 of them for her kids. She's done them all without taping them off. So I just go in with a little bit of sandpaper, and that usually gets it off too. And I'm really kind of making a mess of the sides here, which as I take it off the sides with the wet, it also takes it off the front. So it's kind of going back and forth here today. I'm not doing great. We'll get there. I promise. So anyway, she freehanded the inside of the stable. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to tape it because I am usually a hot mess. And then what I find is if you start getting it too wet, it does start peeling off your first coat. Oops, I don't know why what is going on? I hope it's going. Let's see. I wonder if my internet stopped. There we go. I don't know what just happened. But if you start getting it too wet on the second coat, it will actually peel up your first coat. So what happens is you kind of get white splotches in the middle of it from that. So now I'm contending back and forth. I started with brushing, and I found, believe it or not, even though I'm kind of making a mess on the sides here, believe it or not, the brushing was making more of a splatter on the sides than my pouncing with the sponge. Oh, we got a message back. Let's see what she says. She's like, I got no picture. She was misunderstanding me. She's like, I didn't get a picture with it. Okay. Ugh. Making a mess. That's for sure. Okay. Definitely need extra coats yet. So here we go. Hopefully this will be the last one. You just want a nice even. Well, even isn't really it. I'm doing more of a mix. But I don't want it to look pink. That's for sure. I want it to look that deep cherry color. So, and red is like that. Like if you've ever painted a wall red, I remember doing my entryway with a deep burgundy, and I think I put I want to say I put like 5 coats on it. And I just try to blend in the center section here. I just don't want it to be like a, it's kind of looking good. Maybe a little bit more up here. There we go. All right, get that dry. And you want it to be good and dry between each one because you don't want it to lift up when you start doing it, doing the next layer. Whatever it is, whether it's a layer of paste or if you're doing the transfer over it, you want it to be nice and dry in between. Good question. I don't know what it is. This was what was left on. It's more fine. It was like, it's pretty used up from my sander, so I just grabbed it because it's not super harsh. So yeah, probably 220. I think it started out to be a little stronger, but I think I'm just making sure I don't have any, get a little pieces of the sponge kind of stuck on here, so I'm trying to get it off. Not looking nice. It just, I don't know. You can use that, or you can use the, I did do a little bit of the blocks, but what happens, the blocks seem to pick up more of the red. You can see the red on it. And then it transfers that on my wood. And that's a whole nother thing we don't want to do. Although I like, so it just comes off really easily if you just, it doesn't really matter. What I'm saying is it seems like, I love the background in the picture you sent me, blue and white. Okay. All right. I was thinking about that, the blue. Okay, so we got red and storm. And then what I did was, oh, I didn't put that back on. I went ahead and put the transfer on next. And usually I try to shut these up a little bit because I don't want them to dry out while I'm fussing around with the next step here. Okay, so you just center the transfer on for this next portion. And then we will use Dune. Oh, it's still warm. That is not. Okay. And then Dune for the transfer. Probably if it were me, if I were I love I'm telling you, when I first started, in fact, when I showed my husband the first one I did, I was kind of proud of it. And he said, not sure I like that. I'm like going, oh, shoot. That made me doubt it a little bit. But the more I do, the more I'm sold on it. I really like it and regret that mine is only in gold and white. I really like this. I just didn't want to like paint because I tried painting. If you watched my nativity scene last year, because they came out last year and right now they're only available to designers. All right, let's take a look, see how we did. Cute, 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 cute. There he is. Isn't he cute? So cute. So much going on. They're kind of like a boho style. So anyway, the more I do it, the more I'm really loving it and wishing mine were the same way. But I tried the first time to do more of a boho and paint the background, and it was a stinking mess for me. Because as you can see, I'm pretty much a stinking mess on all the sides. So that was what I didn't like about it. Oops, I just stuck my finger in it. I just take a little bit of sandpaper to anywhere I got a goober on it. I just want it to look nice for her. And I don't know if it's behind her. All right. Out doing the front, we just want to do the sides. Keep wondering if my neighbor's going to go away because I have a neighbor gift for them and don't want them to run away. Okay, so that is the sheep. You can see that kind of cleans up those edges just a little bit. I don't want it to be like on the front. you know, I don't want to sand off the front. I just want to do just the edges. So that's all we're looking to do. Okay, so two of my, was it two? Oh, that took care of my Wiseman. None of my people are brown and red. So that's what we're going to do next, brown and red. And we'll get this brown open and get my sponge a little bit wet here. Put this in there. There we go. It got hard overnight. Okay, so we want to do, I think we'll do the little shepherd. And this is what I learned to make sure, again, this is going to be the way that the transfer goes. So we want it this side. Make sure we don't have any of that in there. And let's see. I really like the brown. This is probably my favorite color this season. That, and there's two colors I really like. I was going to do this in vanilla, actually. Vanilla is the other color I really like, but I thought the dune looks a little bit more like it's part of, a little more brownish, I guess I would say. How far down? It was pretty far. And I'm kind of following the pattern of the transfer too, with how far I go with the color, but not totally. Sometimes when we do the what was I doing? Brown and red? Yes. Keep me on track here. Oh, thank you, Victoria. It doesn't feel like it. Like this feels like it's totally something like random. So it's weird. It's weird to do like sort of this. It doesn't really take any skills to do this. It's more like just patience to get through it, I think. All right. And then red on the bottom. They're just really beautiful together. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the other two that I have. This is my 5th nativity scene I've done. So one I did last year, and I've done 4 this year. I've sold all of these, and then I have 2 more on hand to do because figured once I have the transfers, I can just keep making them. So we'll see. I may just give it a break and wait till next year to do them. I will try not to wait till right before the craft show to do it. So I'm not doing it like last minute. Yeah, Dune is very pretty, but yeah, I mean, this year's colors my favorite colors this year, espresso and vanilla. And I'd be hard pressed to pick one or the other, really. It would be hard. I'm not an artist either, but I do enjoy creating. So, and like I said, I was asking my upline, like, how did you do this? I'm trying to copy you, like I'm just, copying. I think copying is the best form of flattery, really. I hope she thinks that because I've been like picking her brain about it. Like, how do I do this? And how did you do that? And help me do this, so, and she's always really good about it. So, whoops. Are you a designer, Victoria? Just curious. Because I know you said you had ordered some stuff. You have to be careful with the hooks. You don't want to break it off. I did that with one of my cutouts. Usually these aren't too bad, but it's such a small area that you just don't want it to break off. That would be tragic. I opened up one and the tip of the star was broken off. So I've been borrowing from another set. Maybe we'll just maybe trace around it and do one in cardstock. Or in chalk suede paper. That may be what I have to do to get it. Worst designer. Oh no, I'm sure not. That's the one thing I love about Chalk Couture is that it makes everybody look good. I mean, even the worst artist. So you really don't have to be an artist to really look good with Chalk Couture. It just makes everybody look good. That's what I think anyway, in my opinion. If I can look good. And trust me, if you've watched me enough, you know I'm a hot mess all the time. So, because I was like, I'm going to have to tape that. I'm definitely not going to be able to pull off doing the inside of the stable without having some issues. But I don't know. Maybe she did the up the sides is what she did. That could be. We'll see. I've not, other than using the transfer on the inside of the stable, I've not done any sort of painting of the stable whatsoever. I am just messy today. I was messy when I started last night. It took me a while to finally get into the rhythm of not being such a mess. It just, I don't know. I think I'm always like, when I start out, I'm like, oh, I got to get this done. I do have to get this done. We are going shopping tomorrow for the rest of our Christmas presents, or I hope we are. My husband is sicker than a dog. He's home from work sick today because his manager at work came to work sick Monday. And then his service manager on Monday came sick. And then Tuesday, the parts guy was sick. And Wednesday, the parts guy was sick. So by Wednesday, my husband was not feeling great. Even though he tried to stay away from them all. But he had to do the service managers and the parts guys' jobs because they were out sick finally. So they did their sick time. They did their sick time at the wrong time. They should have done it when they first came down with it to spare everybody else from getting sick because now it's going around the shop. So that wasn't very nice, in my opinion. I would like to have some words with him. I'm not happy with him. I'm actually kind of mad because what's going to happen is in our house, we're going to get sick from him after this weekend. And we're going to be sick on Christmas and not be able to see my kids and grandbabies. And that is going to make me very upset. So, basically I know it's going around. This I know, but don't share it. Even if it's going around, you don't have to share. But it's so unfortunate this person decided to share. I don't think it's nice. You don't share things like that. I think you should show respect and stay home. Especially if you want your department to make any money. Like, how do you expect because he's like there's another mechanic, but he's pretty much their primary mechanic. So now what? Now what happens when he's sick and can't come in? All right, this is starting to, and I sometimes like to get a little bit of the brown. I'll just kind of pat it on. A little bit of the brown, a little bit of the red into the brown, just so it kind of spreads it out so it's not so stark. All right, let's get that. Here's what that looks like so far. And you can see I've got a little bit of extra texture on there just from either extra chalk or whatever. It's still wet. I'm going to dry it, and then I'll probably take a little bit of the sanding to it to get off the extra stuff because I don't want wrinkle, lifting of the transfer underneath it. So anyway, we've got him home today, sicker than a dog, and my husband doesn't get paid if he's sick. He does not. He could take a vacation day, but he's out of vacation days now for the year. So there's that. So and December is the worst month anyway for mechanics because nobody wants to get their cars fixed when It's Christmas time. They want to pay for Christmas presents. So the last thing you want to do is pay thousands of dollars for your car to get fixed. So it's just frustrating when somebody gets us sick at this time of year. It's hard. It's a hard time of year. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree with you. I do not understand at all going out. Your job is not that important that you have to be there until you die. Because then he ultimately ended up being home for a day or two anyway, but not until he was super sick. Like, it would have been better to just go home, take and sleep it off. Like, I get so much better faster if I sleep it off. I don't know. I'll just never figure out people, that's for sure. Okay. It is a little, like, here's what it looks like dry, but I don't know if you could see this. There's some, like, sort of chunks on it. So I'm just going to sand it very ever so lightly. And this is just a Dollar Tree sanding block. And, you know, it's way overused. I will be honest. I cannot get rid of them. We'll go ahead and get the sides here as long as we're got the sanding block out. It is getting a little red in color. You gotta watch that a little bit. When you sand red and then it sticks to your thing, then you spread red everywhere. Probably better to use it. For some reason, this one doesn't really spread it around like that other one. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. I think it's okay if it looks a little bit like darkened on the sides. It's not too bad because then it doesn't look so stark on the sides anyway. But I want it to look clean. I don't want it to look like uneven. The uneven painting that I'm really doing here. You guys know me. I'm usually I don't like to do surfaces very much. I'll do it to get the right effect, but I'd prefer not to have to paint surfaces. So any surface that already comes painted like these, I usually go straight for, the straightforward. Trying not to get the sand stuff all over. I kind of am. Oh, I know. I love the Dollar Tree. I do too for surfaces, but I don't like to paint them. If they're already done, I'm good with it, but I'm not like to paint them. All right. Let's do this one in Dune. I think we got it cleaned up really good. Hopefully I didn't paint the wrong side. I have that going in the back of my head because I did that twice last night. I painted the wrong side. So then I had to take it off. I tried to wash it off as best I could and then sand it off. A little bit more. And then ultimately the one the donkey I did totally on the wrong side. So I ended up having to repaint it. Thankfully, our bright white is the same color as our pieces. So that's how I got it fixed, but All right. We want Dune. This kind of makes my lids dirty, but it's just working for me to put whatever I use on the top of it so that I have it easily accessible and don't grab the wrong. That happens a couple times. You grab the wrong sponge and you're like, okay, that's enough. These, even though these don't have a lot of stickum, the part of the sticky part really sticking to the figure. So because of all the detail, but they've really been working great. So like I said, this is my 5th time using them. And they've been working pretty good. The only one that's really given me any sort of problem has been the stable one. And that one right from the get-go has been sort of leaky. So that's not helpful. In other words, it leaks underneath and smears, and then I have to clean it up, which is not fun. All right, we'll shut that. Get that shut up, and then see how we did. Oh my goodness, that red looks amazing. Love it. So does the brown. Like, which way does it go? Okay, let me show you that. Isn't that great? I love it. Beautiful. Isn't that great? Oh, yeah. Well, and I ordered it last year as a kit because it came out as a chalk made kit last year with the gold paint, the gold shimmer paint, and the nativity and the transfers. And it actually went on one of the Black Friday sales. So then I bought 2 extra, gave it to my daughter and my daughter-in-law. So they all have it. But it was frustrating because they didn't actually have the nativity out for separately. You had to buy the whole entire thing. So that was the problem with it. Here you have this nativity set that you didn't have more pieces to, but they came out with the pieces. Okay, so this one is going to be gray. I guess we're done with the red then. This one's going to be gray and brown. So then you didn't have, oh, shoot, red everywhere. Of course it's red that I spilled. Then you couldn't do the, oh, that didn't go well. Where did that little sponge go? Because I know I'm going to step on it because it's below my feet here. Oh, it didn't even make it to the floor. It's on my ink container. Okay. So they didn't make the extra pieces for it. All right. So this last one, I don't know how I messed this up so badly, but I did. I forgot. I was trying to get one full sheet of these done last night because it comes in two. The nativity is in 2 sets. And I clearly missed one of them. And I don't know what they're thinking with this set either, because they have like two shepherds, 3 Wisemen, Mary, Jesus, and then, a camel, a donkey, a cow, and yep. So this is the way it's going to be. So I'm putting that back on because we want to paint on the correct side. Okay, so that last one I put brown on top. So I'm going to put the brown on the bottom. We want brown and storm on this one. I'm going to put brown on the bottom. I'm going to be messy about this, but I'm going to move to a different, make it last. Usually when I use these, I can go and wash them out, but I've really used these a lot for this project. So I will be just throwing these out when we're done completely. So I'm sure that I have it done. So anyway, I feel like they left out Joseph and one of the shepherds. That's my complaint, because when you go to set it up, you're like, oh, so I think I used this guy as Joseph in my setup. And then the shelf I have it like on a bookshelf in my living room, and I can't actually get the stable in there. So this year they're displayed without the stable, which is okay. I still got the stable. And actually, I realized when I pulled it out, I didn't even paint my stable. So mine I did. I just was so busy doing so many things for Christmas last year. I never got mine done. I had it, but I didn't get it done. So I did it afterwards. I remember doing it in January. And it was like, okay, I'm just going to get this done so I can pack it away with Christmas stuff, because I still kind of have, you have that odd and end of the different decorations that you just find. Like you'll find the towels, the Christmas towels or whatever, come through the laundry, and you're like, oh shoot, that didn't get into the Christmas stuff. When you pack away Christmas, it seems like there's always like a few stragglers. Well, I thought, I've got this stack of stragglers, I want to put it away with it. Okay, so I got the gray on there. It's a little more white on the top. It's just got a little more water added to it. So anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this done and then get all the stragglers put away. So I put it out there on the set of stragglers, the stack of stragglers, and told my husband, okay, everything's ready. The nativity is done. But when I did it, I forgot to do the stable. So anyway, my stable still is not done, so I need to do that next. But yeah, my husband never got that set of stragglers put away. And so when we were cleaning out just a little bit ago, a month and a half ago, we were cleaning out the like outside below the storage area. Lo and behold, he's like, "What's this bucket? This rubber?" He had stuck it in like an extra Rubbermaid at some point, and there it is. My nativity was still out, along with all the stragglers. So I wasn't happy about that. I'm like, couldn't you just have put this away? Yeah, you have to climb up in the attic. He's like trying to. I think I've got him convinced though now. You know, I don't know if you see all these different, videos of the Costco bins, the black and yellow, great big bins that are too heavy to carry anywhere. But you put them on a sliding rack, like a basic wood sliding rack. I think I've convinced him to make me that on an entire wall downstairs in our extra room or store. I don't want to say it's our storage room, it's our freezer room. And because I don't want it to be my storage room. I want it to be like a room that we can use for things. But anyway, I think if we could get it like along the one wall, all the black storage bins lined up and in an orderly fashion, it would just make things easier, because this crafting stuff is starting to overtake. I'm gonna get a little bit of brown up here and just kind of fill it in a little bit. My brown cloth is definitely coming apart. It kind of, oops, I took some off there, I think. It kind of looks like stone a little bit, or leather. Yeah, marbled, you're right. Yeah, I was intimidated too. It is very time-consuming project. And I've been selling these maybe too low. I wanted to make a profit. And if I only did one color, I think what I'll do in the future is if you just want one color, if you're only the colors, if it's a white background, I'll have a lower price and then a higher price. Yeah, exactly. And even if they were just really good, and because my husband keeps saying, well, I'm not going to keep going up to the attic, but I'm like, it's wasted space. I feel like we're always going to have the attic full. But it would be nice to get everything organized. He's like, then all your Christmas decorations. I'm like, I'm more likely to put my Christmas decorations up a little, because sorry, I'm going to go off camera to do the sanding on the front. Oops, I did take off too much there. I took off the corner. And there goes the red. He wants to put all the Christmas decorations, but I think that they take up too much space and need to be they need to be up there, because you only use it once a year, but I need more access to my crafting stuff. I don't know. He keeps saying we should have. The other thing he talked about doing is putting some storage. We have this big Airstream, a 35-foot Airstream RV that had to be gutted because it was rained in. It was leaking for a long time. And so everything inside of it was really gross and yucky. So we had to, it was all molding and stuff. So we had to really gut it. And he's like, we'll just strip that out and that'll be your crafting place. And I'm like, as nice as that sounds, I really just need the storage. So we talked about making it the crafting space. He's like, he wanted to take all the walls out of it. And I'm like, I kind of think if you leave the bedroom, then at least it's resellable, because I don't see myself wanting an RV. I'm like, oh, I could be a mobile craft store. Like if we did it right, I could have craft nights or whatever right there in my RV. Just pull my RV up places and do the crafting wherever. I could be mobile. And then he's like, oh, well, wait, I said, but I wouldn't want my, all the storage of all my products to be exposed. Like if I had people in, I want the storage, because he was going to just take out the bedroom. He's like, you could just use the whole thing. I'm like, I feel like it would be better to just have the whole, there, that filled in the white areas. The whole thing, like leave it as is, because there's a bedroom in the back, and make the bedroom the storage. And then make a long table along one wall with benches where I could do storage inside. And then like thin, narrow shelves on the other. Right. Yeah. Because right as it is, I do have, I thought I had 4 craft supplies boxes just for Christmas. One of the big bins and 3 of the smaller bins. 3 of the smaller bins. But the last time I did my crafting thing, it didn't come out. So I don't know. They can only find 3 of the 4. So I think they're wrong. I think they're wrong. I think the people that were, and I can never do it. I can't lift all these boxes. Like I can't go get my own storage. I have to have help because it's too heavy, especially those big black ones. But I could do it if I could slide it out and grab it. You know what I mean? Like that would make it more accessible for me. There it is. There's still some little like texture there that I want to get off. Just make sure it's not. And then, of course, with each painting, I have to get a little more on the sides, just for kicks and giggles. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what's going to look like. It would be nice to have, like, all of my surfaces and everything, or just need to get rid of it all. I don't know. Or I need to organize. That's the problem. I start organizing craft supplies, and we're talking, I just get distracted. It's like, oh, I didn't know I had this. And then pretty soon I'm like working on a project instead of, I don't really get anywhere. I'm easily distracted. It's bad. It's like Christmas when you start organizing craft supplies. That's what I have to say about it. It is like Christmas because you like open it up and you're like, oh, I forgot. I did have this one project that I needed to do. I try to work through it actually, but you know, I'm not always very successful. Okay, so last but not least, on our dune, I think this is it. And then we'll start working. If you're staying tuned, we can start working on the stable. But really, this isn't as bad of a project if you decide not to paint the background. That's my opinion. You could, if you like the white and then pick your color. To me, it seems like a really doable project. Anyway, that's what I think. In fact, when I did the silver and the gold two-toned ones with on the white background, I got it to basically doing the whole project in about an hour. So it wasn't too bad, actually. When you think about projects, not too bad. But this is definitely taking me more than that. So I'm getting warm. That little heater is pushing out heat. I don't want to stop it because, you know, sometimes when you stop it, it never comes back on again. That was what happened last year, so we don't want to try that again. Anyway, try to clean this up a little bit, get it all incorporated into each other, especially the dry parts. Get those put back in. All right. Put this aside somewhere. I don't know where. I guess I could, let's see, before I get this too dried up. That looks pretty good. That one kind of has a more of a line that I would like, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Is that cute? Cute, cute, cute. Okay, so we have 3 of each of the color combinations now. All of the figures are done except for the star. And I'm going to get the transfers set aside along with that squeegee because it is covered. So I can start working on the background, and we'll see. I'm starting to think maybe she didn't tape it off because it she did the whole inside. That's what I'm starting to think. So that's what I'm going to try. That is going to be my attempt. I think Actually, this needs a little bit of spray. I always like if my pastes are starting to either get low or dry, before I put them away, I put a little bit of spritz of water on the top to just keep it moist. And a lot of times that prevents it from drying out more. It actually, and then it's all incorporated when I open it up to use it. So, all right, so here is the stable. And this is I always keep the cardboard because I like to stack it in there. The other thing I have been doing for my orders is that I have been, did I use the paintbrush? I guess I missed one last night. I might need that, actually. I wonder if I can soften it up and clean it. So this is like the best one, I think. Ugh, that got hard and crunchy. I've been doing a quick clear coat. Of course, we've had weather every day that I've been needing to do it, but I've been doing a clear coat on it just in case. I don't want it to like fall apart on my customers, you know, or scratch off. So it just kind of protects it. I use the Rust-Oleum clear coat and just spray it really quick outside and then bring it in the house and let it dry up really good. Yes, I am. She is paying for it, but I think I'm going to have to raise, you know, in the future, I'm going to have to raise the price. The worst thing is my first one, the girls sold actually. So the kit was $75. I think that's what I decided for the whole kit. And I usually do my surfaces at least for about $5 or $10 over what the price is because I get designer price, for when I sell them completed. And so this one, I was setting it because I was only doing like 1 or 2 colors on it and not having to do the background. I was selling it for $50, if you were wondering. And then of course she ordered this one, but I didn't know when she ordered it was going to be so labor intensive. So, but I have to stick with it. But the first one they sold, I put the price tag on it because actually the 2 people that came out and ordered, they both knew that it was $50. I put that price tag on there, but my daughter sold the one that was at the show. She sold it for $40. So I actually didn't really get a great price on that one. That was frustrating. So my upline said she used 4 different colors of blue. So I'm going to see what I can find here. I don't know if my midnight shimmer is even working. Let's see if we can get that working. Now, when painting, it sometimes works better with the... Oh, sorry. Oh, good. I'm glad you got it back because I don't know what to tell you. So I think, I don't know. I'm trying to decide, do you do all the way on the inside or do you do just the back? What do you think? The back, Victoria? I'd have to tape in there, but I think if I just did the whole thing. Ooh, that's got red. It was fun while it lasted, I guess. Let's see if we can get it mixed in a little bit. This is pretty dried up, but it might help. Boy, she's good if she... Then I've got blue. Let me see what else. She said she did 4 different colors of blue. I think that's going to be the lighter. I don't know. This is more teal. I was thinking about bringing the dune into it. I'm already not going to like the edges if I don't tape. I don't know why I'm so against back and sides. Okay, that gives me permission to just make a mess, right? When I try to be too much on there. I do like this color. It's more of a navy. But it does have like a gold shimmer in it, so it's a little bit flashy, so to speak. I don't think you can see the gold very much. I don't know. I'm just trying to get a coat here. Maybe I should have kept that. Where did I put that dune at? Should have maybe kept the dune out just in case. I'm going to do this as sort of the base coat. Sorry if you can't see everything, but I will hold it up at the end. And I don't know, you know, I appreciate it if you're here and have to come back or fast forward. But I'd love to have, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and like this video and hit the notification button so you know when I go live. You must have that hit, Victoria. This is a little more chunky than I would like, but it's okay. I'm confident I can work with it. Don't use the Band-Aid to wipe off the edges. Oh, I need a new one because this one is got some red on it, and we don't want to transfer red. Do you have lots of gifts to get for Christmas, Victoria? Love to hear what's up for Christmas. I like to go overboard, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of give this a base coat so I have something to work with. I'll probably be adding different colors here to the middle and bringing it in. I want to go darker to lighter, so I guess maybe I shouldn't go too far into the middle. Got some chunks here on this side, so I'm trying to just get it. This is making my arms sore already. I'm gonna get this edge right there. At least the blue is coming off so far. A little better. A little better than the red. This one is named the right color, Moonlight Shimmer Moonlight. It is a lovely color, and I love it at Christmas time. I don't like it like that. I prefer, yeah, lights and food. Yes. Oh, yes, that's hard. Maybe find a friend. Find a friend to celebrate with, and you can share. All right. You can see my masterpiece here. I feel a little bit, is it Monet, I think, that has, see if I know my artists, right? I'm not really an artist, but Monet that looks like Impressionism, maybe a little bit. At this point, anyway, I'm hoping to be a little more succinct about it. I'm kind of holding the brush weird because my fingers are starting to already fall asleep. I have carpal tunnel, so this is why I don't think of myself very much like an artist, because I struggle painting inside the lines when I can't feel my fingers. It's getting worse and worse, but I don't know how I feel. I guess I feel pretty strongly against the surgery is the issue because I keep resisting doing anything about it. It does scare me, the thought of not having use of my fingers, and being a pianist, being a trumpet player, I need my fingers. So endure the pain is what I've been up to, I guess. I like this. I always wish we had a navy color of paste. It must be a hard paint color. Oh, how did that work out for you? I'd love to hear about that. If you've had a carpal tunnel surgery, please tell me about it. I just don't know. It's a little scary as a musician. A little bit more water in this. This is getting dry already. The cool thing is, this is getting dry. Your paste, if you don't use them for a while, they will dry up on you. But you can reactivate them with water. Oh, I'm making a mess here. Mostly because I can't, for some reason that edge just is not getting colored. I'm going to go back and get it off. I did it late to have permanent, oh shoot, yeah. That probably will happen to me because they wanted to do it like 12 years ago. Or not 12, 25 years ago. 25 years ago, actually. Well, that stained that corner a little bit. I'll have to come back and do some sanding there. Maybe there's a little bit of glue or something there. Same here. Ah, now I went on. Sometimes my cleanup creates more problems than it's worth. Just saying. I'll go around it after we're completely done here and hit up the little cleanup places I need. But yeah, I probably have overworn, and done the nerve damage too. I don't know. It's just been so long. I was pregnant with my second when they wanted to do it. And I was like, I can't imagine like losing my fingers. Not to mention I had a toddler and a baby when they wanted to do it. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think this is a good time for me. So I just didn't do it. And now it's just been, I still had 4 more babies. So I had 5 babies total, but that was only my second one. And I was like, I can't imagine getting through. Sorry, I'm just got some lumps here of paste. So I'm just trying to get it out so I don't. I can't imagine having toddlers and babies with it. Well, I've had toddlers and babies for so long. Ooh, I like this color though. I can see this as being a good color for background, that's for sure. So it just never came about. And then, life happens. And I just could never imagine having the time or the energy to do it. And then I had my accident and lots of surgeries with that. So nobody the last time I had surgery, I did not like the going in and coming out. I was just really worried about coming out. And I don't know. It just made me nervous this last time. So I wasn't a great patient on it. All right. How is that looking? Tell me what you think. What are your thoughts? I think I need to start adding a new color. Maybe get this off of here. I'm gonna close it before I close it up. Oh, I don't want any white showing on the sides though. That is the one thing. I may have to go back through for a second coat just to make sure it's more. I kind of like the fluid, you know, like it not being exactly like darken, you know, like just a solid color. I kind of like it being several colors. Needs more paste, yes, but it is wet, so I need to. We'll get there. We'll get there. This one I'm worried about, but I think it'll be okay. I'm gonna go from there. See, this is much more wet. This isn't quite so dry. I think this will. I just need to do some blending, I think. That's what I think. I should have gone back. There was like a tutorial in the design studio for this last year because I think one of the other designers did a tutorial. That's what I should have done. Was I should have gone and watched that first. I feel like a kindergartner painting here, but I know that I gotta get it around here to get it blended. I'm not done, I promise. I will try to make this so that it doesn't look like... I'm hoping this works out. I'm definitely having my doubts. If you're having your doubts about me, maybe keep it to yourself, because I'm having my own doubts here. I think this is a better color. I don't know. And I am going to grab in maybe just a wet. Jeez, those won't stack. A wet brush. And just kind of come in lightly and do some smoothing out and mixing. I don't know. Oh shoot, that just picked up. So this is Cadet. I was using Moonlight Shimmer before. It's definitely giving better coverage because my Moonlight is very dried up. And maybe that's what I'll have to just deal with, is doing Moonlight or doing Cadet instead, because this is definitely covering up more. There we go. But I really wanted that deeper color. I don't know. I might have to go over a second time with. We want it to kind of come in towards the center and be like rays of light going towards the center. I don't know if you can see that. You know, at this point, it sort of looks like a 2-year-old did it, right? And I can always sand it and start over again if I need to. I may be wrong about this. I'm just trying to... The ones that was the inspiration, she said she used 4 different colors of blue. So we are up to 2. But like I said, I think that midnight didn't give good coverage, but I'm going to just let it be for now and then come back. There we go. I don't know. Hopefully I haven't created a disaster here. I don't know. I don't know if I'm great. This is starting to look like a 2-year-old for sure. Okay, we're going to go into our third color of blue. And then I was thinking maybe a little dune would like calm it down. I know the outside isn't quite what we want it to be, But I want to get this back looking how we want, and then I'll work with the... And this is a shimmer. This is Duchess. So I think it's going to have quite the effect. And it really does. Like, if I can not overwork it, I think that will be the key. And not mix colors here too much. Get that Duchess back in there. That's starting to look like it, don't you think? I want better coverage, though, around the outside, so we're going to go towards that notion. Am I in the middle? Maybe not. Oops, no, that is... I think we might need to start drying. I want some from the top here because we have the star up there. Ooh, that was nice. I like that. Not to be shy about it. That's what I think. There's definitely no replicating it. Like, each one is definitely going to be, if I do this on any other ones, it will have to be just individual. You'll have to deal with what I make because I don't know. All right, we are going to use some drying on this first. Let's get some things closed up. So this was Duchess. That was the lightest color. That was a color of the month at some point. So let's get this dry because I don't want to pull off anymore. And the Duchess has shimmer in it. It's too hot. So it does give it a little more, that shimmer definitely helps a lot, I think. It makes it kind of glisten. I think you can see that really well. I think I'm not liking the moonlight shimmer. It feels like it doesn't match as well. Is it good? So I may just go around this outside part with the cadet. It's pretty dry. What do you think? There is some shimmer there. You're loving it. Good. Okay. So I'm on the right path. I do think the shimmer, I don't know, it's just too dark. It's almost too navy compared to the cadet. And we kind of have to use the cadet because that's what's working. So I'm going to see what I can do here and try to get it a little better coverage here without wrecking my They'll work in the outside. And I like working with paint or the paste without a little, when I'm brushing, a little bit of water. Not too much because you don't want it leaking, but I'm telling you, there's some spots that just do not cooperate. Right around the edge. Maybe it's just because I'm trying to be so light about it. Yeah, this alone, I'm having regrets because I want to get this done. And I got to watch the time too because I know, well, it's been over an hour now, and I appreciate that you're hanging out with me because it definitely, you know, I get it if you don't want to watch something this long. This can be a long process, but you know, I'll go back and put the earmarks on it so you can, the titles on it so you can just go back, and the time codes, and just go back and see the end result. Or if you want to see the whole process, I don't know. It's hard to get a nice coat here. See, I think that side, which way? There we go. See that side, I think it looks better. Just kind of draws away if it's the wrong color. I might just do the cadet on, or the cadet on the back of the star. I'm kind of thinking about the star yet. Do the background of the, in this cadet color. Although I don't like using cadet because I always make a mess out of it. It's always like a mess. I'm just bringing this out here a little bit and just fanning it out, kind of dry brushing it once I run out of paint or paste. Don't like the unevenness of it. Don't like the uneven places. Oops. Get these out of the way. I see what the issue is here. Got this piece of sandpaper here. Watching someone paint, I think, is kind of like watching paint dry almost. But it can be a little cathartic, I guess. Trying to use my edging skills on the edge here. I don't usually do like a edge onto empty space. It's maybe not working out for me. There we go. This is on here thick to get it on there nicely, I think. I'm not a fan. I don't know. Personally, if I would want this on my own, I don't think it looks bad, but it's not my thing, maybe. This cadet is dark. It's probably maybe a good idea. I mean, I think I would have had to do at least 2 coats anyway. So I don't think it's a bad thing to have to do 2 coats here, but I'm impatient. I'm getting to be impatient. I kind of held off on this because I was afraid of doing it, and now I know I was afraid to do it. This cadet does make a mess when you go outside the lines. I may go around this edge with brown. We'll see. Just do my best to get most of it off, and then I'll go around with a sandpaper. Because it's definitely staining. Well, I'm glad you say that, because it's kind of freaking me out. I like the shimmer in it. That's really, that is capturing my attention, the shimmer, to put the shimmer in there. It is scaring me a little bit. I think what I'll do is I'll let it dry and then go back around and do some of the lighter tones. I may only do 2 really colors in here. She said she did 4, but that was a nice even paint line. Sometimes painting, especially when you're doing edges, it's like tongue-in-cheek. Like when you cut, you have to like move your mouth with it. That's kind of what it feels like. Come on. A couple of white spots there that just are not covering. Cover for me. Then you move it a little and you're like, oh, there's even more white than I thought. And I think if I have some lighter spots, I can come back and do the Duchess over the top of it and sort of bring that up and make that look, because it's shiny and shimmery. The Duchess really has some extra texture to it too, because I can see like some bumps. Love the thought. Is that a nice way of saying, yeah, nice idea? See how we can execute it, right? Yeah, I just think those spots where I don't quite have good coverage or it's not going on well, it's kind of thick. What are you thinking? I think it's better with the cadet all the way around. I definitely think that. So I guess that lesson learned. maybe if the midnight was newer, I could have done a better job of it. Because I do love that midnight, but it probably would have taken two or three coats anyway. But I don't know, it just didn't mix well with the cadet, in my opinion. But maybe I needed to mix longer. Ugh. Okay, good. I believe you. I just am like, whoa. My head is spinning on this one because I've kind of stayed away from this. So you get to see my mistakes. You can decide to do it or not to do it. I just have stayed away from doing this because it kind of intimidates me to figure out how to do kind of I'm more of paint in the lines, paint something solid. And this is more random of a paint, I guess, in my opinion. So I'm definitely having some big, huge doubts in my mind about this because it is very intimidating. Just don't want any white areas out by the edges. Ooh, that is lifting more than it's putting down at this point. Ooh, there was a good. Sometimes when my brush gets a nice edge going, that's when I try to push it into the edge and get the edge better. You don't see mistakes. It is a process for sure. All right. I think I've gone. Oh, yeah. See, that's what happens if you don't panic and start going fast because you're panicking. That's my advice to you. Ugh, that is really showing up on there. Okay, let's run some drying on this. So we don't rub it away. Because what happens is if you start rubbing too much, it'll start taking it away instead of blending. Although I'm starting to think about that. I really need like a little tray here. Oh, I got one. Got a tray. Need a little tray of water. I'll fill this tray. And I think I'm going to take and maybe try to draw some of it out with water instead of... That might be too much. Kind of gets rid of brush marks that way. If you get the right consistency, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to bring it into the center to be more of like this focal point in the center. I don't want to bring it down to the white. Yeah, and now I've got that so watered down, it's actually lifting it. Maybe. Yeah, let it dry, come back. I know, right? Want this done. I'm so anxious to be done. It's actually like around the edges here, it's pulling it out a little to be like a little, you know, more of a mix of colors than, but I am getting some unevenness right there. So I need to dry. Any rough edges. Yeah, I think it's getting there. I do think it's getting there. And you can see like little sparkles in it too. Not a ton, but you know, a little bit. This is more of a heat tool. It's not as hot like as my heat tool, but it sure can get warm. Just keep it moving so it doesn't burn it. That would be bad. Okay, so let me show you what I've got so far. Let's see. Might be better up here. What do you think? I think it's looking good. I don't think it's done. There's some white areas for sure. Let's see, where was I? What was I putting in there? I think it was this one. Into the Duchess. I really liked how that Duchess really brought out some shine, if that makes sense. It just kind of brought sort of like a starburst in the middle. Trying to cover this one spot that's kind of lifted. The more you brush at it and peel at it, it just peels it, kind of gives it more texture and layers. I think it's, what do you think? I don't know. It looks really, the part I don't like right now is just that it looks like brush strokes. I want it to look less like brushes. So I'm gonna get a little water in here because I want to pull out some of those ends where it looks like, you know, it's as wide as a brush. So it doesn't look like and more like a, sometimes I think it's almost like picking at a pimple. You like pick at it more and more and more. It starts to finally come out. I don't know. That's maybe a bad analogy, but it's true. Can you see the brush strokes? Brush strokes a little less, I think. Because I got that in front of there. Right? This one over here. And it's got like a sheen to it, so it really just makes it pop, I think. I like the sheen. Lots of layers, I guess. I know I have to do something over here. I think I might have to. What do you think? It's hard because I'm kind of like, I like to have things sort of perfect, so it's hard to figure out how to make it look perfect but yet imperfect. Perfectly imperfect. That's what I want. I don't know if you can see it too. There's a lot of texture. You wouldn't change it. Love this sunburst. I kind of like it too. Just have a couple of these white spots. I think I want to get those darker. Especially around this edge over here. Let's see. Use the... I think I'm ending up with like several colors, but not actually because I've used the actual colors, but because I'm mixing so much in here. And then right here. I'm getting extra colors only because they're kind of mixing together and putting layers. Oh, this is stressful. Usually crafting is not, it's a therapy. This is like, I'm nervous because I want it to look right for her. You know, this is why I usually don't do orders, because I prefer, if I make a mistake, I can fix it however I want and then sell it. But because I've sold it, I want it to look exactly how she wants it. So we'll see. Hopefully she loves it. Don't stay stressed. Yeah, I know, right? You know, I think they say art is in the eye of the beholder, right? Is this one of those things that's in the eye of the beholder? Oops, I goobered it there. Shoot. I just lifted it. Thought I had it all fixed, and Now I just stuck my hand into it. No worries. No worries. I totally was following you. Don't stress. Well, I got it the second time. Let's just say that. I do not like... I should put some little... Oh, I've still got the stable portion to put on there. I do see those. I'm almost using this whole thing up. I just got it too. I haven't had it very long, so... This cadet is going to be out. My heater is still pumping away. Just pumping away. This never stops. It's only set at like, well, I guess it's at 68. I could maybe turn it down. I feel like it's really hot. I'm going to have to get going. I think I'm going to walk away from it for a while. And I'll come back and finish it up when I have a little more, when it's really dried well. I think it's pretty good. Maybe this spot right here needs to have a little more Duchess. It looks pretty dark there. I know. What do you think? I see a spot that needs Duchess. Please don't paint the outside for me. Just a little bit here. That evened it out a little. And now the star. Now the star. I don't know. Let's see if I can patch this spot over here that got kind of exposed. So I have a couple of spots where I've just pulled it up and it looks kind of not even. Just don't like those spots of white. Ah, this may go on all night. All right, I am really gonna leave it alone. I thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate it if you come all let it dry. I know. After it dries, yeah, I think I will. And even if I have something to fix, I won't be like pulling off other things. So sometimes walking away and coming back helps you have perspective. So thanks so much for joining me. Make sure you do all the things. I appreciate it. I know it's a long one, but sometimes it's just an art in progress. I appreciate you. Keep on crafting and have a very blessed evening.